Hey guys.
Hey all.
Hello. Nice to see you guys, or at least hear you.
Hmm.
Yeah, are you able to join via video or?
I can't join via video.
Gotcha.
Maybe Sebastian.
I would, but I'm watching my neighbor's puppy and it's kind of a mess back here, so I'd rather not, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love it. Well, sweet. Hey, it's great seeing you guys, or sorry, to hear you guys at least. But today, just want to hear how things are going real quick, and then I'll go through some to-do updates. And as I go through those, we can kind of clarify some things. I saw your feedback, Margaret. Well, we can jump into that, and then following that, we'll jump into just a little bit more IDS on some specific things. Dave has some further clarifications on the C12 strategy. So, sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Is Margaret here?
I believe so. There's a third one.
I am, Sebastian. I'm in the background.
There.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so any wins for from the last time we met? I know Margaret, you've been on the road. We'll start with you. Any highlights?
No, not really, not today.
Okay. What about you, Zeb?
Like wins for the organization? I don't know. I think we're about to wrap up putting out our new states for the BBI. I think the last one goes out on
Gosh, yeah.
Tuesday. So that'll be good. We'll be kind of done with that chapter of the year
How
for
many do you
now.
think?
It depends on how many people we can get to generously donate the other states.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Cool.
But we're gonna wrap up at around 12. So we're gonna be, marketing that, and then, you know, hopefully, since we have a proof of concept, we'll be able to make some appeals based on that.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Z, any highlights from your work in the past week or 2 weeks?
Well, we had the webinar with the National AI Association yesterday, and it was well attended.
Mm,
Um, and we are going to be sending out the save the date for North Carolina for the invitation for the North Carolina BBI award ceremony. That's going to be on June 10th, but we'll be sending that out today. Uh, and I forgot. Did you need to know about newsletters too?
it's more or less, yeah. If that's something that you've been working on yourself, it's helpful for us just for awareness, just to get to know.
Oh, not just me. It's a team effort.
Okay.
But we sent out the April President's update, and then the policy watch is gonna go out today. And since we last met, uh, we had the Oklahoma event, and then for those who couldn't attend, our membership director went to the Capitol and went to the individual offices and gave them their awards. And we have all the pictures from that. And a lot of people tagged us on social media. So that
Oh,
was,
great.
yeah, a lot of the representatives, excuse me, tagged us on social media.
Great.
And I've also been working on KPIs for the org. So yeah, I think that's
Great.
the major stuff.
For
Awesome.
the North Carolina event, is that an in-person event?
Yes,
Okay,
that will be.
I'm in North Carolina. Is there a way for me to try to join or sync up or meet any of you there?
uh
Yeah,
I'm not sure
we
what
can
kind of
give
event
you.
it is.
Margaret, yeah.
Yeah. I
They're
mean, I think we're
members, so
doing.
you're members, so you'll receive an invite. It's a members only event, but you once that invite goes out this afternoon,
Okay.
and you'll
Awesome.
be able to register.
Okay. I'll connect with James. I imagine the email will go to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet. Let me know if there's something in Rhode Island.
It's funny, we just got a reporter in Rhode Island that asked us to put the BBI there, but we have to get the state sponsored. It's a very expensive project rollout, and I told him as soon as we have a sponsor in Rhode Island, we'll be happy to bring it there. But it's on our to-do list in 27.
Awesome.
Great.
Great stuff. Cool. Thanks for the updates, guys. It's always helpful just to see what you guys are working on for our awareness, and that also can like help us keep our antennas up on anything that we could assist with, or for example, attend in North Carolina. So that's great. Just moving forward, so the to-do updates, real quick. So we're revising that campaign strategy right here. So this one is for the C12. So we've been working through that. This is the updated one. We did do a first pass, but I think when Seb and Z were on the call, we saw there was an emphasis on the BBI as being like something that we want to push forward to some degree, more so than we talked about earlier on, as helpful to kind of encapsulate CEA as a product. So this has been revised, and we did capture your feedback on that. This is interesting because I remember actually removing some of these things. So I wonder if I think we might have a separate copy somewhere. So this will be updated. We are aware that we want to remove free, no cost to join, any of that language for this partner strategy, which includes the email sequences, landing pages, SMS. So that's that. Let me move to the next. And then we talked with Z and Evelyn. That's her name. That was very helpful to get her feedback. We talked about Zoho, and it's just the pain points you guys have had with it, but also how it's set up. So it clarified things for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue. We're going to create/confirm those outreach ready segment lists. So for example, C12, and then ongoing ones that we've talked about in the past. So I know there's a couple other partnerships we want to engage with following C12. And then after that, so there's the refined brand story. This one's pretty pivotal because this will influence everything. This one, Margaret, I did see that you gave comments on this one, and you did say that there was nothing updated. I wonder if you saw version 1 again rather than version 2. We wanted to keep your comments just in case. That's why we create a second tab. So I think the biggest feedback you gave us initially was the first freedoms framework, and we integrate that into version 2. Were you able to see the version 2 tab?
I'm not sure what tab I was looking at this morning. I just clicked on whatever you sent via email.
Okay, interesting.
And I just did a quick glance of it and just noticed that the join free, join at no cost stuff was still there, which our board does not want any of that language
Yeah,
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just do a quick no
So that would
cost.
be referring to the strategy document, Austin, not this one.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
want to
okay.
make sure we were clear. Oops. And yeah, so free at no cost was not in this one. So that should be removed. Let me make sure if it was in here. Yeah, it's not in here. So it was just the strategy. Okay, gotcha. Other than that, these things, so this finalized brand story messaging draft, once we finalize that, this will influence all of our starter assets for the C12 strategy and so on. So we've
Austin,
been
I had a
done.
question for you on the C12 strategy. Who are you planning on emailing these to? Because we do not have member contact information. So we work directly through the chairs
Mhm.
for the last year and a half, and that's just not a winning strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't advise that you send the C12 chairs which is our contacts, any more emails.
yeah, that's actually the question that we have. The main question for today that I need to go over with you
Okay,
is how to best connect from your perspective with this with the chairs, and I talked to James about it.
okay.
Yeah, so we need kind of a first step, which is how to get the chairs on board and how to get them to share with their members. And then this strategy is once we can get some attention, how do we talk then directly to the members of each C12 organization? But the higher level thing is what I needed to talk to you today about.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
I
perfectly lit.
I would just tell you guys, Mike Sharrow, and us at CEA have put out literally hundreds of messages to the chairs. I
Mhm.
would, I just, unless we have a way to get access to the member list, the chairs are not going to respond. I mean, we really have inundated them. I've personally met with over 60 of the chairs in the last year alone, either in
Okay.
person at their monthly meetings or via Zoom. And I think we're gonna have to figure out a way to get directly to the members. The chairs are non-responsive at this point. We've just given them too much information. They don't get it. And they're just kind of the gatekeeper. To the members. And as I explained to James early on, I don't want to go spend another year talking to chairs. It's a
Okay.
waste of my time. And then all of the members call me directly, and it's just not a good process. They all want to speak to me individually, and it's just not a good way.
Okay.
So unless we can get access, and James thought I can ask Mike Sharrow. James thought that he could ask Mike, but I'm telling you that we don't want to send anything else to the chairs. It would be a complete waste of time and money.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that answers my question. That's very helpful.
Yeah,
Um,
not to,
y-
I mean, there's just so much more information I could give you there. It's just a year of complete, many, many hours, many, many expenses and travel costs, lots of time. And it's just, the chairs are not the right people to be communicating with.
okay. I was not aware of that, so that's super helpful, and we can pivot for sure.
Yeah. So just letting you know, I know that James and I had that conversation early on, and maybe it got lost along the way.
Well, yeah, I just talked to him last week, and we were coming up with ways to try to connect with the chairs.
Yeah.
So he may have just,
He might
not
have
picked up on that,
forgotten.
or just not picked up on the emphasis that you're placing now on that it's not a good way to go.
Mhm.
Okay, but we can
No,
pivot.
the
We can
chairs
find other
call me
ways.
monthly. I got to be honest with you. They inundate me as well,
Okay.
expecting me to do a lot of things for them. And it's just a big waste of effort and time.
Okay.
They're just not getting it. They're just not the right people.
Do you think?
They're great mediators, but they are not CEOs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you. It's like they're like good coaches.
Yep,
Um,
they're facilitators. They are not CEOs.
do you think there would be any benefit to pivoting instead of pivoting that top level strategy, switching to a different organization other than C12? Are there other, I think we had listed some early on. Do you think we might have better luck skipping C12 and using a similar type approach with other um, faith-based organizations?
Yeah, we can probably do it with 94X. I think Sean Copeland, who's on our board, he's asked us to wait before we do. We have a co-branded site with 94X and these guys already, but he's
Okay.
asked us to wait until they get some certain processes in place before they ask everybody to join.
Okay.
So I'm going to say they're probably a few months off from
Okay.
some of the stuff they're working on before they want to send out our communications. I'm also working with the national religious broadcasters that will probably be a good thing for us to use, but they're pretty slow. So it's going to be a few months off before they give us access to their members
Okay.
as
So
well.
to clarify, we believe that C12 members are the perfect target. We just cannot go through the chairs to
To
reach
get to
them,
them.
is what I'm hearing from you. Is that
Yep,
correct? Okay.
yep. And
Okay.
I've got the same problem with Convene. We're speaking at a Convene event in May. And once again, they're, spending all of my time introducing me to all of their chairs. And I was like, I do not want to meet your chairs.
Okay.
I'm not going to spend another year of my life going through that process. They're just
Okay.
not the right people.
Okay.
So I would say this is a good strategy, to go through these folks, but all of these folks are not ready for us yet because they have their
Okay.
own stuff going on. So I'm gonna guess more towards the end of the year before we can get access to their members and communicate directly.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely find other ways to get in front of the right people. It's just helpful to know, and I wasn't
Yeah.
aware how strongly it is that we should not be targeting the chairs. And that's okay. We can definitely pivot.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't want another year of questions from the chairs.
Okay. We that is registered. We have heard you.
Yeah. Yeah, I do love them all. I'm a C12 member
Sure.
myself, but there's an easier way, and so it's really just I think we put the strategy together, and we communicate with Mike. Hey, we've engaged with Figmints to do this strategy, and then get Mike to open up direct to their members. I mean, we as C12 members all have access to all their members. Of course, it's in an app, and we'd have to pull them out one by one, so that's not
Yeah.
a win. But I do think that Mike might be open. He sends out stuff himself to all
Hmm.
of his members and chairs every month about the importance of joining CEA, and they still don't do it. So we'll just have to ask Mike, hey, this is the process. This is what we're hoping to accomplish, and see if he's willing to. He probably won't give us access to all of his members, but he, as corporates, might be willing to do the send.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah,
I've noted that. And how
that's
do you spell
my
his
best
last
bet.
name?
Sharrow, Sharrow.
Okay, got it. The other good note is that a lot of C12 members have noted that on their LinkedIn profiles. And so
Yes.
there's also some ways that we can kind of target them with some messaging via LinkedIn as well. Um, so yeah, we'll work on taking that into consideration as we move forward with the strategy. So
Yeah,
thank
and it's a
you for
great
that.
strategy. LinkedIn, we can find all the CBMC guys. There's probably the largest, they love to put CBMC on there. There's thousands of them, as well as C12. You're right, they do put it all on their LinkedIn. We have not figured out, let's just say we don't have internal expertise to pull all of these people down for us on LinkedIn so we can start marketing to them.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm actively working with another client on some LinkedIn
Okay.
outreach, very similar to that. So that might be at least one of our
Yeah,
lanes that we run in
for
to try
sure.
to reach out to them.
Have you done so, Margaret, clarifying, have you guys done LinkedIn outreach before?
We have very little, we have Sales Navigator and all of that. Um, it is supposed to connect directly into Zoho for us, our sales navigator, and do some work for us, but we don't have the right level of sale. I'm sorry, we don't have the right level of LinkedIn. You have to have, I think, a premium. There's like premium or something now. You guys
Right.
might know. So we've asked Evelyn, who does our finance. I said, Evelyn, find out, but we've got to get we don't have the right level of subscription on LinkedIn in order to connect it with Zoho. So
Okay.
it's on her list, just probably not her top priority. She hasn't got to it.
Right.
One other question about LinkedIn. Would you be open to at least some minimum ad spend target if it was very specific targeted?
Yeah, we could.
Um,
It's definitely probably worth testing. We did do some LinkedIn ad spend, and it was unsuccessful.
sure. What I've noticed on LinkedIn is that the messaging is critical.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah, so if we don't have the exact right message, then yeah,
Well, and it's the
okay.
target, right?
Yeah, target plus messaging for sure.
Yep.
Okay, I'll keep that in consideration as well.
Yeah, cool.
Other than that, since we're here, um, so other than that, the messaging and the kind of the overall strategy that resonates with you. You feel like we're on the right path as far as kind of the points we're highlighting and the direction we're going in.
I think this morning I made some edits.
I saw those come through.
Yeah, and so the only thing we're missing, the litigation, the injunction protection, is a good reason why to get somebody to join right away. But
Yep.
nobody understands injunction protection, so we have to change that to different.
Say it differently.
Yeah,
Sure.
say it differently because it's probably the biggest choke on the C12 chairs. They're like, "What is an injunction?" And they close their eyes and they go to sleep.
Right.
So, changing the messaging on that, but I would just say, all right now, all of the revenues and the focus of the team is really on our lobbying. So there was no mention about our government relations work. And we have an active policy map where we're tracking thousands of pieces of legislation actively across the country, trying to be proactive and to be able to move and stop some of this before it becomes a mandate and then requires litigation. So the whole front end piece of all the proactive work seemed to all be missing from the messaging.
Okay.
So I just gave some bullet points, and I don't know, maybe I just got to send you all our brochure. We have a brochure, we have a government relations brochure, but that stuff seemed to be missing.
Yeah, if you could send that to us. One of my concerns, and it sounds like you've already acknowledged this when you mentioned talking to the C12 chairs, is that I think the words you used were something like we've already given them too much information and they don't know what to do with it or they don't understand. So one of my goals or one of my things that I'd like to help you with is really if we can just land one plane. Everybody's so busy, everybody's got so many different
Yeah.
messages, and you've already said it yourself that there's already some of the terminology and the phrases that you're using just kind of go over people's heads.
Yeah, it's the
Um,
injunction protection. That's really the
yeah.
only thing that they really struggle with.
So it's yeah, and then it sounds like it's you do so many things, which is fantastic. We cannot share all of those great things with
Right.
somebody that's not currently a member, but to get them to join because they're not going to be able to latch on to one thing. So we really need to land like one plane with each
Right.
new prospect. Um, so if I said, hey, if you and I were talking, Margaret, and I'm a business owner and I would be a good fit, and I said, Margaret, you've told me a lot. I understand you do a lot of stuff. I don't quite get all of the things that you do, but it sounds like you're very proactive. Tell me in just one or two sentences, why should I join CEA? Just
Yeah,
in
so
what's the
yeah,
what's the one thing that you can tell me?
and so honestly, my answer is different depending on the CEO. I've got CEOs who call me directly because they're interested in lobbying, government relations, and specific policy issues. So if I'm having a policy conversation, I don't even talk about injunction protection. It's kind of a back end. Oh, and by the
Mhm.
way, that's another benefit. So it really just depends on the person. If I'm talking to somebody that absolutely is not engaged whatsoever or has any interest in policy, which are my West Coast CEOs, then I focus 100% on the cost of litigation and being one day away from a lawsuit.
Mhm. Okay.
Right.
So
So,
those are the
yep.
two big things.
And they and it's interesting. I would just say all my conversations are very different. I was talking to a CEO yesterday out in the state of Washington, could care less about injunction protection, doesn't care, only cares about certain policies that are going on across the country. So every conversation's different.
Sure. And you're a great salesperson, right? So you're tailoring your messaging when you're talking to somebody very narrowly specific.
Yeah,
So let me put you in a different scenario. Let's say that you're speaking to at a conference and there's 1,000 business owners in the room
yeah,
and you only have you're going to end your talk with one reason to 1,000 business owners. What would you say to those not knowing each of their very specific needs or very specific situations? What is, if you could sum it up and get your most
yeah.
powerful point across to them, what would you say?
Yeah, so and I'll be doing that at Convene in a few weeks. So, and in that situation, I only talk about the number of lawsuits we're seeing across the country,
Okay.
and the need to join for the protection, right? I mean, it's really stupid not to join. We've already, so I focus on the costs. I talk about the types of lawsuits we're seeing across the country right now, which there are many, many, in red states and blue states, and the cost of that litigation. And by the
Okay.
way, we've already won this battle in court. So really just by simply joining today, they come under at least $50 million worth of injunction protections.
Okay. Yep. That's what
You
I
add
would
them all
assume.
together. When you add them all
Yeah.
together, right? Because they all went all the way through the Supreme Court. So
Yeah,
most CEOs don't want to go through 4 years to get through the Supreme Court and spend that many millions of dollars,
for
facing
sure.
$500 million in fines. So, it just depends, but I do summarize it that way.
Okay.
And I do that usually in about 3 minutes just by scaring them with the number of lawsuits that we're seeing.
Sure. Yeah, and I know we've talked about we don't want to lead our outreach strategy with fear. But I do think that that is so most people are going to make a decision that benefits them directly before make a decision that benefits their entire community, right? So I will make a decision as a business owner that's going to benefit my business before I will make one that benefits all of C12 members. That's
Right.
just human nature. Um, knowing that this benefits other Christian organizations and businesses is helpful in my decision. But if you let me know that you're protecting my business and my direct hires, that I'm responsible for their pay and their families and things like that,
Yeah.
that hits a nerve that makes me want to make a decision a little bit faster. So I'm glad you said that. I think that's a really good, strong way to lead. And again, we'll balance. the facts with the fear. So we don't want to be fear mongering and like, make everybody panic. But I
Well,
think
I
leading that
know.
one.
I hear you, David. So, and I'll tell you, we're in the process, actually by tomorrow of, because I have a board meeting. We are launching a brand new website. The homepage will be live by tomorrow. I will tell you that we went ahead and decided to move more towards the fear mongering because, this lapsadaisy messaging isn't working. And
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. And so we have, and I can send you a link to that site. It's not live yet. So
Yeah,
you
that would be
can look
super
at that
helpful.
messaging.
Yeah, that would let us know what you've just prioritized in your new messaging. That would be very helpful.
Yeah.
And I will tell you to keep, let me cut and paste it in here. It's not finalized, and keep refreshing because I've had to change some of the language to get us out of
Hmm.
potential legal issues. So I am still fine tuning some of minor words, but it'll be ready by tomorrow. And our team hasn't even seen this yet. So I'm just going to put it in the chat. And that's because, I need it by tomorrow's board meeting. And so I'm having to take over the project and get it done as quickly as I can today.
Hey, Margaret, one quick question just to clarify. I know Dave is looking at this from a higher view. One thing I'm thinking about, and I think you kind of hinted at it, is the words that you've used is litigation and injunction, which it sounds like those two words kind of go over the head uh of what's the word? Chairman. Uh,
Yeah, the
so
chairs,
if
they
are
do.
there good words to use other than litigation? Because I'm seeing we use litigation and injunction in our language to simplify it. Do you want to say, is there a more common word we could use or that you've used before that's helpful?
Let me look at the website and see what I just,
Yeah, pull it up.
yeah, let me
It's
just,
like,
that screen rotates.
Hmm.
Where basically I put CEA's permanent legal protection ensures you're ready when challenged. So I changed it to legal protection, removed injunction protections.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, that's
what I
good stuff.
found lately is I have to just, start with the story of one of our members.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, stories are the
Without
best
using
way.
their name, and I have to actually go through and just say they're in a transgender, they have an employee forcing them to pay for their transgender surgery.
Hmm.
And, and I just am starting with the story. So I've started removing some of the junk. You will see on this new page that we put in with permission of Hobby Lobby, I put in the Hobby Lobby story. So we tried to put in stories. The problem is we can't use their names, right?
Sure. Right.
That you will see in this new homepage that we put in, the Hobby Lobby story.
Hmm.
But I just put CEA's permanent legal protection. I got rid of the word injunction and federal and stuff that didn't make sense to people.
yep,
Sure.
this looks a lot better. I like this.
Yeah, you can thank Sebastian. He
I was
changed
about
the
to say,
design.
this is really well done.
Um, he, he changed the design of it, and then the web person, poor Sebastian, I haven't got to tell him, but she panicked because I have to have this for the board tomorrow. And there was some potential words that could got us legal
Hmm.
challenges. So
Right.
I'm
Well,
working
I'm
around the
not a
clock to try to
lawyer.
get this ready. No, you're not. You'll just notice I changed like one word or here too, such as, things like we're fighting for you, but we do offer protections, but that doesn't mean you won't have to go to court, right? They still might
Yeah.
have to go to battle in court. They'll just receive, but that permanent federal protection I see that's popping up, you're going to see that go away. I remove words like federal protection because it just doesn't make any sense to
Yep.
anybody.
Sure.
Yeah, so like
Um,
legal protection is like a layman's term I'm thinking of, or going to
yeah,
court versus not saying the word litigation. I think that's the broader term you probably want to use for litigation. Is that
Your
right.
lawsuit.
or your yeah. Literally this looks better night and day, and that's not a pun based off of the original CEA website. I do like
Well,
the background.
you
It
can
does
thank
speak to me
Sebastian
as
for that.
home.
Sebastian did 100% of the work working, and I just got involved just because we're under a time crunch for a board meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just some words that will cause our attorneys on the board I'm trying to avoid that.
I really like how it's a much more concise message throughout
Yeah.
the page. Like that's where I was headed. So I'm already synced up with you. Like we need to land one plane, and I think you've done it better on this website.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you to Sebastian for that.
Yeah.
And then we did he did put on the front page our 5 federal court injunctions, right? So people can see um what they are protected. And we just have some few more minor changes to go, but we'll have it ready by tomorrow.
Yeah, this is very helpful, and we're headed in. This is headed in a good direction.
Yeah, so I just thought to show you this really quick, just because I was working on it with the designer this morning. I'm just making some minor word changes, but I think we're just almost about done with it.
Yeah, the last thing related to this that you've already mentioned with the Hobby Lobby is any of those other case studies, testimonials, little stories that you use when you're talking to people or you have already in print or written down somewhere. Even if we can't use their name, if you can get those to us, as you know, telling an actual story says so much more than trying to unload 10 facts or bullet points, right? Like, so
I know.
if we can get the owners and the business owners and CEOs to think of a story that resonates with them and they can be like, oh, oh shoot, that could be me. Like I've got
Yep.
those types of employees and I'm worried about this.
Yeah.
That would be very helpful. So it sounds like you've
Yeah.
already put some on this website. If you have any other,
We haven't. We just put the one Hobby Lobby. We had to get permission because that was
yep,
a feat in itself, to be honest, to
sure.
get the permission for that. But the attorneys do not allow me to Sebastian's asked me, I just speak freely when I'm talking with people,
Yeah.
but I don't
It's
put
not
anything
in
in. I
writing.
don't put any yeah, I don't put anything in writing and I don't have any case studies because our the attorneys just don't allow it.
Okay. Well, if we can just turn it into a story,
Sorry, yeah.
and we don't even have to say that we can put a disclaimer if we need to, but just we need some sort of story to resonate with people. Um, if you could just put the facts down and then we can
I'll
reword it
do
or
that.
however we need to, that would be
I mean,
great.
we can always just make something up. I don't mean that like legally, but like we can tell like a fictional story, but it's like, you know, this is happening all across the country. Like this, like, you can kind of
Yeah,
storybook it.
yeah,
You know
I
what I
agree.
mean? It's
Yep.
like,
So if
oh,
you,
like Karen owns a bakery and, her employee wants to go by they, them, and she doesn't believe in that. And then, so her
yes,
employee sues her for $1 million and then down goes the bakery.
Sebastian, that's a good idea that you have. Maybe just look at our injunction protection and just create a story for each one because they're all going on.
yeah.
Um, and they're just all going on. We've got a member of ours, unfortunately for him, who joined us after the litigation got filed. He has our injunction protection, and it's gone all the way to the Supreme Court now in his state. And this is a bloody mess, 3-year bloody mess of a employee that's worked for him for 10 years that never showed any signs of ever even being homosexual. Now all of a sudden wants a transgender surgery. So and what's even more interesting about, and this is, which is probably what the attorneys won't allow us to talk about. What's most interesting about the 30 cases we're tracking right now inside of our own membership right now, the 30 cases we're tracking, all of the lawsuits are being done by an organization called GLAD, which is an
Mm.
LGBTQ
They've been around a long
Soros
time.
funded law
Mm.
firm that is targeting Christian employers across the country. So I tell people this in my private conversations, and I keep debating whether I put it out on our website. Our attorneys at ADF, they agree with me that they're being targeted, but they're like, hey, Margaret, we can't say that, right? So, but we know that Christian employers are being targeted by an evil underling called
Mm.
GLAD all across the
Mm.
country. And the other thing, so that's just the truth. That's just the true story, right? And my
Right.
attorneys agree with us. So when I'm having conversations, I do say these things publicly, and I am debating whether putting it on the website. I obviously don't want to. That would glad boy. Will they just come and shut me down?
Yeah. Pick a
'Cause they have a lot
fight,
more money.
right?
Yeah, they have a lot more money than we do. But that's really the honest truth. And so, and the attorneys and I talked about this about 2 weeks ago, specific to one of our big cases we have for a member up in New Hampshire. And, we all know that it's happening. There's thousands of cases between the two law firms that I talked to 2 weeks ago. With all of us combined, there's thousands of these cases. So we know Christian businesses are being targeted. Their law firms are settling at about 500 to 600,000 on average. They're settling the cases because it's cheaper to
Mhm.
settle than it is to litigate. And so there's a message there that I'm struggling how to put together. right? Without
Mm.
having the GLAD people and the Soros people come and, find the heck out of us and shut us
Right.
down. But there is a story to be told there, and it's a real story. And Christian businesses are being targeted, um, and it's happening, right? So I just haven't
Yeah.
figured out how to put that together.
So is that one of the stories we're thinking could be? I mean, we're not referencing directly Glad or anything. We're kind of going off what
Right,
Sebastian said, is
right.
articulating a fictional story that communicates those truths.
Yeah, and we've got members right now that have a lawsuit going for every one of our injunction protections. And so that's why, even though they have injunction protection, if they find themselves in court, ADF attorneys who won the injunction protection on behalf of CEA will go and explain this to the judge. But there's still a fight there. There's still a lot of work that has to be done.
Mm.
So it's not one
Right.
and done, right?
Yeah.
And there's different reasons for it. But yes, Sebastian brought up a great idea, and we could take a look at our 5 injunction protections. One's pronouns. We have quite a few lawsuits going on about pronouns. We have plenty of lawsuits about transgender bathroom surgeries. And so, late term abortion. I mean, that's just a no brainer. We could come up with fictional cases. They're actually real cases, but we just don't put anybody's name on it.
Yeah, we can change the business type of business and not put a name on it and use it as a more
Yeah,
hypothetical, but real stories like this are happening every day kind of thing.
Hmm.
exactly.
Mm.
Um, so let me
So
just you with
that's
something you said. I
necessary.
just want to make sure. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I know I've said, no, it's Sebastian's idea and it is necessary. It's something that we need to do.
Yeah, yeah, that would be even yeah, if we could get a story for each of those main 5, that would be fantastic.
And Sebastian,
So
just so you know, all of those ADF ads you see, Alliance Defending Freedom, most of those ads are fake people.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
They
yeah.
can't use
Um,
the real people either. So that's how they do all their advertising, raise all their money is with their fake ads.
Mm.
yeah. I just want to make sure we have like the right use case for this in mind. Like, would we think about putting these like in an email or like
Yeah.
on the webs? Okay.
Yeah, this would be messaging. Let's say the C12 members, for example, when we find out how to get in touch with them, or we message them, or we're posting on LinkedIn or sending via email. It's to lead with a kind of a true story because people resonate
Okay.
with stories. And if you look through LinkedIn, I think people are overusing and abusing stories a little bit. But the point is, like, you will be more likely to read like what happens to Jim, Rhonda, Susan, or whoever is relevant to you. You will read that story, and if it resonates with you, then it's piqued your curiosity. You want to know how can I keep this from happening to me,
Yeah.
um, type of
It
thing. So
sounds
Maybe
yeah,
like
lead something, David, with something like, with something just as factual as Christian businesses are under attack, right?
yeah, there's two different, yeah, yeah. So there's a couple of different ways that you can reach out to people. We can go into more detail later, but yeah, some people resonate with stories first, and then some people resonate with facts and figures. So
Right,
for those people, we would mix those up with different, so one email might lead with a story, the other one might lead with X percentage of Chris's businesses are sued every year based on this, right? That catches some people's attention. So we
right.
kind of mix and match a little bit. But Sebastian, to answer your question, yes, we will use these in um, whether it's LinkedIn posts or emails or things like that.
And you'll see on our website that $1 million figure came from our ADF attorneys and Liberty Counsel. When we met 2 weeks ago, they said, Margaret, to take on one of these federal injunction cases that you already have protection on, it's a minimum of $1 million per business, a minimum.
Mhm.
And that doesn't mean they're going to win. That's just to defend themselves.
Mhm. And so to clarify, so if I'm a member and I get sued by an employee and you've already won a case, um, I still need one of your representatives to show up in court to let the judge know that I'm protected by what's already happened. I know I'm using very layman's terms, but is that kind of what happens?
Yeah, so if you're a member and you have, and this happens to me on I would say almost a daily basis right now, a member will reach out to me with an potential employment lawsuit, right? They've either
Hmm.
received a letter from the
Right.
employee, they send it to us first. And if we've already got the injunction protection, then we give back the paperwork, uh,
Okay.
and we connect them with an attorney at ADF that basically tells you how to respond to that employee,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
And we shut the lawsuit down that way as early as possible.
Okay. Hmm.
Sometimes they come back because they have a good attorney, especially if it's Glad, they come back with another twist We come back, we
Sure.
already have federal injunction protection for that too, right? And so that's
Yep.
kind of how it's going right now. And we rewrite the responses. So to
Okay.
avoid you from having to go through litigation. And we just had a case where we had the attorney come back. We think it was Glad. We don't know exactly for sure because it never went to court, but they did finally stop harassing. And
Mm.
we were able to get this employee terminated for violation of their employment agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that was a
Um,
win
yeah, that's great. So
for now.
that little process that you just told me,
Yeah.
is that listed on the website as well? Like,
No, because
no.
it's different for every
Okay.
situation, right?
Okay.
I wish it was cookie cutter.
Sure.
It's not like, our really big case, which is a shame because the man's already put out about $4 million in defense over the last 3 years. It's gone to the Supreme Court in New Hampshire. He had injunction protections. And unfortunately for him, his attorney didn't know he had injunction protections and never brought it before the court. Right. And
Mm.
now we're going in after 4 years of
Ugh.
getting all the way to the Supreme Court, trying to get the Supreme Court justice to reverse it. This is a really ugly situation.
Hmm.
And so, like I said, every case is so different depending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
But that even that story is just like this is the knowledge you want beforehand, not after.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be him, right? Or that
Yeah.
business.
No.
Yeah.
And I talked to him just a few weeks ago. So his case is in what we call purgatory right now, which is a good thing. Um, but yeah, this is a real problem. And so just trying to get a handle on the messaging, ADF, our attorneys were like, hey, they warn people all the time, right? And they
Uh-huh.
tell every single business owner that comes to them for representation, you need to join CEA. They tell every single person you need to join CEA.
Hmm.
And we just don't know why they're not doing it. But
Yeah.
That's
when
big.
lawyers are telling you to join us, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah. Makes no
strangest thing.
sense.
It makes
Sure.
no sense.
If what is the number one objection? Do you know?
I wish I knew.
Okay.
I wish I knew. I
Ignorance.
talked to a CEO yesterday, a member of ours, been a member for a long time. He goes, Margaret, I didn't join for the injunction protections. I don't care about them. And I said, well, you should. You're in the state of Washington, right? Let's talk about a state to where you're going to lose your tail.
Right.
Uh, and he just didn't understand it until I explained it to him yesterday. So
Okay.
Mm.
So it's
that's not
really
why he
getting,
joined us. But
yeah, yeah.
he knows
Okay.
now why to stay.
So probably the biggest objection is they just don't get it. So we
They
just
don't
need to
get
help
it.
them. We need to help them get it. Right.
Yep,
Yep. Okay.
exactly.
Got
And
it.
that's really been the problem with the chairs. They just don't get it.
Sure. Yeah, because
So
I
I've
get
gotten real
it. And it
bold with
makes
them. Yeah. And
Makes
I
more
got real
sense.
bold with a chair 2 weeks ago. I was actually the largest group at C12, the Mid-Atlantic. They have about 480 CEOs, 15 chairs. And I got to meet with all of 15 chairs and I got real bold with them. And the owner of the franchise said, hey, he put a mandate out to all of his chair leaders and he said, you will tell every single C12 member to join and you will tell them all to make a donation.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's almost like the chairs at some point are doing their members a disservice.
They are.
It's like it's like knowing that there's a way to help people that you care about and you're not helping them. See, yeah.
We're doing an event in May in DC, United in Purpose. I'm actually moderating the attorney panel between ADF and Liberty Counsel. We're talking about these cases, just like I'm talking about with you all today. And we've got about 200 leaders of Christian organizations in the room. And that is the message. You're
Yeah.
doing, you're doing your organizations a disservice by not telling them about CEA, ADF, and Liberty Counsel. I mean, it's just a big disservice. So could you imagine that's the whole purpose of the meeting?
Yeah. Will you be able to record that panel discussion? That would we be able to get the video to use for anything?
I'll ask for that. That's a great question. I'll ask. I know they're not letting any media or anybody in the room because Paula White's there. Lord have
Mm.
mercy. But I'll see. I'll see if Paula White shut down all of our media. It's a closed
Gosh.
private meeting. But I'll
Mm.
see if they'll let us record it.
Yeah, if you could record it and we could use any of like even the things that you say, like if we make an
Yeah.
agreement that we don't even show the other people or whoever we get permission. But if we could
Right.
use some of your little bits, like 30 seconds here, 60 seconds there of things that you say,
Yeah.
and that would be really, really helpful for us in helping you market and
Yeah,
promote.
I'll do that. And I'll even send you because I just finished the presentation for that event. and you might find just the presentation
Yeah,
helpful.
please. Yeah, send that over to us.
I'll do that.
And even if you can't get a professional recording of some sort, if you could have one of your people
Phone.
there, like even
Yeah.
using a phone recording some of your, or, ideally better than a phone, but um, anything that we
No,
can
of
use to
course.
get you live talking about these main points in a professional setting. So it gives you even more authority than you are, people seeing you on
Right.
stage. Um, I think that would be very powerful.
No, I'll do that. I'll ask. They might let
Okay,
us get a recording.
great. Um, Austin, I've covered all the main things that I needed to go over. This has been extremely helpful for me.
Yeah, great.
And for Sebastian, he got to see his new website that's going live.
Yes.
Congratulations, Sebastian.
Thanks.
Yeah, it looks great. Um, yeah, I think I'm a little biased because it captured the nostalgia of walking around the Capitol at night. That's what I used to do all the time.
Did you do that, Austin?
Walk around the Capitol.
Yeah,
Yeah, I live 4 blocks from there,
that's
so I would
right.
walk around the Capitol all the time.
That's right. I
Yeah,
remember that.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So maybe Sebastian, maybe just, I guess the only to do really for, I wrote my to dos and I'll send that presentation to you guys and see if I can get that recorded. So I think Sebastian had a good idea. If you look at the injunctions and create a couple little sample stories, and I can help with
Hmm.
that if you need, Sebastian, but they might be good to get up on our website besides just the Hobby Lobby.
If you could just send me like the 5 main points of each injunction, I can take it from there.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm not a lawyer, and I hate reading this stuff as much as our C12 members do.
Well, that's also the problem. These case docs are just so monstrous and massive. But
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll take that on myself because I think that's a really great idea. We have somebody that's actually I'm in the process of settling the pronouns case with the EEOC this week, and the DOJ. But we actually have 2 members that are being sued by their employee because of improper use of pronouns in a Christian
Mm-hmm.
business. And of course, the Christian business didn't have it in their statement of faith, right? In their employee handbook. Another benefit of being a member of CEA. So we tell you, hey, this is what your statement of faith should cover, right? This is what your employee handbook should cover. So people sign these things when they become an employee. But yeah, both of these cases, and we're just settling the injunction protection hopefully this week. And if the DOJ approves of our request, we'll be backdated, and both of these people will save them monster lawsuits this week.
Wow.
So just giving you another story, but I got the
Yeah.
Sebastian.
Okay. Yeah, so just to summarize so many good things, because it's just gonna be helpful going forward and keep David on the same page along with you guys. This campaign system strategy. So we're gonna try and pivot and move it towards the members themselves, not the
Yep.
chairman. Uh, we are still unsure exactly how we want to target them. LinkedIn is something that we might want to do. Paid ads. Um, and for that campaign strategy, it seems like we've captured a little bit of the preemptive protection, like the proactive and even the reactive protection for members. Um, and we've kind of captured that language already from Margaret. Uh, Dave, are we wanting to shift that position, push down? We still have BBI there, but we want to focus in on those 2 things, the proactive and active
Yeah, we will lead with that,
action.
but I think, yeah, we will still mention the BBI, but just not lead with it. Yep.
Yep. To reduce uh, sound or noise.
Yeah,
Uh,
noise. Yep.
and then are we wanting to produce the stories in this email campaign template
Say
or
it
this
again.
campaign strategy? Do we want to use one of the case studies slash stories that Margaret and Sebastian will
Yeah, we
provide
can
for
work
us?
them in. Yeah, yeah. Once we get those from Sebastian, we can figure out how to work them into the
Okay.
strategy. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So just a head up, this will shift our timeline a little bit, just because of the ongoing uh, new website being produced, which is really helpful. So that'll give us a little bit more direction. We can use that link. I do have the link here in the CMO to for Dave and for our copywriter to work on that campaign strategy. Um, that was another thing. So we'll use those stories for the we'll also have to incorporate that finalized um, language into the refined brand story, the proactive and active parts uh, of protection. So once we kind of finalize that website, I think we'll be able to have the brand story encapsulated there. Because it's like you said, it's the challenge here is reducing what's the core, what's the main emphasis um, here. So that's just something I want to flag is there will be probably a delay in pushing these starter assets um, for April, which was the original intent.
Yeah, it doesn't help that we're also honing it ourselves.
We get it. It'll be strong. The end product will be stronger though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Like even now as Margaret shares, I feel a lot more confident about that.
Yeah.
Um, and oh, there was one more thing. I feel like I'm missing what it was. Um, oh, uh, I was. I'm also happy that you guys, especially with the board, has decided to go forward with a little bit more of the fear hook, because that's I think the simplest way to capture the attention
Hmm.
before you even jump into the story or the case studies. Because if you just start with a story and not have a premise or a thesis at the beginning to capture them, I think that fear part is your most effective use.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Yeah, well, I think the stories will be mostly about fear.
Yeah.
yes,
But
but to get that initial hook,
yeah, but it's a real threat. It's a real fear.
yep,
Like we're not making up.
Yeah,
great,
We're
it's a
not making up
threat.
Alright.
something. Yeah.
okay,
It's good.
It's a real threat. It's
Yeah.
like I said, the two biggest law firms representing religious liberty cases in the country. I got the opportunity to meet with them 2 weeks ago because we're going to be doing this event, and they agreed with me. They're just being targeted.
Yeah, that one other thought that I had, and I don't know. I've got one of my best friends is a corporate attorney at a partner at a large firm here in North Carolina, and I'll reach out to him if there's like Christian lawyers associations or things like that. They might actually be a good making sure that he's aware. Like I'm already thinking, like I just want to let him know, make sure he's aware of you. He may
Yeah,
already be, but him letting his clients know
yeah.
is a good, is a good touch point.
No, for sure. And ADF has a network across the country. So a lot of these guys, attorneys, do reach out to us and build relationships that are working with Christian businesses. But at the end of the day, if they send them to us, they lose business.
Ah, sure. It depends on
Right?
what area of law. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, how there and David, tell them to feel free to reach out to us because a lot of the times they see a case. This just happened in South Carolina. An attorney reached out to me. They saw a religious freedom potential case in the state, and they'll reach out and they'll say, "Hey, how many members do you have in this state? If I take on this case, they've won a grant, so they're not charging our members,
Mm,
but they ask us to sign on. They need us to sign
right.
on to that lawsuit. So I do have attorneys all over
Okay.
that ask us to do that, and we do it. So
Okay.
we can be really helpful.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, I didn't want to derail, but that was a thought that just came to my mind.
Yeah, we can be helpful. A lot of people don't know that we do that. It's not something, you
Sure.
know,
It's
but when they
little.
reach out, we do sign on to their cases.
Yeah.
awesome. This is all helpful. Um, yeah, this is. I th I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with going forward, as it seems that there has been a shift, but a good shift of emphasis. So. With other than that, I just want to say, so Figments will revise the campaign strategy using the case studies and stories, and revise the brand story using the language from this meeting that we got from Margaret, specifically if you're going to talk to a specific group. And then we'll do more research on the campaign strategy direction when it comes to aiming at members. So, um,
And
we
yeah,
have.
if you don't mind, Austin, just have a quick conversation with James and see if he wants to reach out to Mike, right? With the
Ah,
process. I do think that he'll open up his membership directly for us. He might want to send it himself, but I do think he'll do it for us.
Okay.
Okay. Dave, were you gonna reach out to James about that? I think you wrote down his name.
Yeah, I can follow up
Okay.
with James on that.
And if James wants me to do the reach out and ask Mike, I could do that too. So
Okay, I'll check with
I
him.
just know that James and he are very close.
Yeah.
Shit. Cool. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Okay. So we got 2 minutes left. I just wanted to, it would be helpful. I know we shifted from last meeting. I think I can't remember if this is the same time as last week's, but do we want to try and aim to do this meeting in 2 weeks? Same time?
It's up to you all, Sebastian. I know I don't. I'll be on the road,
Yeah,
but I think I'll
that's
be at the ADF in 2 weeks
that's
event.
fine with me.
Okay. What I can do is I'll just make this a reoccurring, just aim to have 2 meetings every month, and this will be every other week.
Sounds good.
Z, what about you?
2 weeks. Yep, that works for me.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so for
Sure.
you guys, for us it's 11:30. For you guys, it's 10:30. So I'll send an invite after this meeting. But I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Sounds
Great.
good.
Good
Thank
to
you
see you all.
guys.
Thanks for your time and your help.
Yep.
Appreciate your help. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
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 Bye.